Hello. Today I'm going to talk about three trends in special education and their positive impact on the way services are provided for all students. The first one is inclusive classroom, second is early intervention, and the third trend would be assistive technology. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is inclusive classrooms. This is relatively new, dating back maybe until the early 1990s, where students would often be programmed outside of a general education classroom if they had learning differences. We are moving towards a more inclusive classroom, not only just for life experience, but for everybody to have access to similar learning accommodations, which should be provided for all students. It's a general education setting where students can, with and without learning differences, can learn together. This gives them access to the same information, and it can be accommodated by giving different ways of teaching that teachers can collaborate with other teachers to find out what might be some best practices in this area. They're welcoming and supportive of diverse academic, social, emotional, and communication needs of all students. This is done without pull-out instruction, and if pull-out is needed, the shorter chunks of time is offered. The basis behind inclusive classrooms is teaching in ways that do not exclude anybody. And this is good for everybody to see because it's important in the real world to be actually find learning differences are able to help all. Creating opportunities to listen to children and their needs is a good way to create an inclusive classroom and look for different ways to meet everybody's needs. A scaffolding approach to learning, finding a to and from area for growth for all students. Being aware of specific needs for all students in your classroom makes this even more so important. This can help streamline processes and also give students that maybe aren't on an IEP the opportunity to do better and have more access to what they need. The second topic I'll be talking about today is early intervention. Intervention has been in the last 2 decades, been growing in Minnesota specifically by a Help Me Grow initiative that is given money to school districts to help intervene based on referrals from either doctors or social workers or other people in the community as early as birth. This can help identify and intervene so that students can have interventions and supports in the home before they start school. The Help Me Grow is an interagency initiative of the State of Department of Education, Department of Health, and Human Services. And developmental milestones are monitored to establish interventions for different supports for children in areas of need. And this can be done in the home or in daycares, and usually serviced by a birth to 3 special education teacher. Assistive technology. Assistive technology can be products, equipment, systems that enhance learning and working and daily living. And I wanted to give some different examples. They can be low tech, which means they do not use technology such as computers, but cardboard, fuzzy felt. It can be different ways to modify pencils, educational software, lifts, all things that can give people equal access to the curriculum and communication with others. I also included this visual of some different areas, and this is just a small glimpse of what is available. Communication, reading, all the different things that can be targeted when there seems to be a need for a person in a way that we can help them independently learn and not have to do things for people, which is the goal. It enables and promotes inclusion and participation, which goes along with my first area that I talked about today, which gives people the access and the independence, and it promotes their well-being and being in an inclusive environment and having the same access to everybody else independently. And that is my presentation today. Thank you for joining me.